One of the great things about the Suicide Squad concept is that the characters who are part of the squad give you different lenses into different pockets of the DC universe. And Boomerang is just that, that rogue and that scoundrel who has no inner voice, and that brings a super fun dynamic to every story that's involved with the Suicide Squad.
Captain Boomerang pretty much is on the team because of his skill. He has a boomerang for every kind of contingency.
How's that? Bloody beauty, I'd say.
If you think about creative modern ways to use a boomerang as a tried and true weapon, that has very, different variations to it, explosive-based boomerangs, boomerangs that are more, almost like, deadly knives that he can use at close range as a melee weapon as opposed to just being a throwing or ranged weapons. Over the course of the years, we've found really interesting, unique ways to take the theme of a boomerang and make it a really deadly weapon that this character can use in a variety of ways.
Watch it, kitten. You're not the only one with claws.
It's really an amazing evolution if you think about his history and where he started from, which was, kind of a spokesperson for his parents' toy company, to now becoming one of the most dangerous mercenaries in the DC universe, who's just as cold-blooded as anybody.
Captain Boomerang, in his beginnings, was kind of a light character, not particularly threatening, like a lot of Flash villains from the early days. He was more a one gimmick kind of guy. His thing was boomerangs.
Captain Boomerang, Digger Harkness, has got a really interesting evolution in the DC universe. Having come from the Flash universe and been a more colorful member of the Rogues when he debuted, I think back in the 50s or 60s, he had more of a kind of permy thing going on with his hair, and he had, like a stewardess-looking Australian hat on and a scarf and a suit with boomerangs all over it. So, definitely a more colorful villain. That over time has evolved to be one of the most dangerous mercenaries in the DC universe.
Him being added to the Suicide Squad has made him a more formidable character because we actually do see how he can use boomerangs to more deadly effect.
Heads up, mate! Right in the ghoulies!
There's no better story about the evolution of a character, I think, and how you make a character who may have been seen as a more kitschy, colorful villain to a deadly, grounded mercenary like Captain Boomerang.
Bloody Frankenstein!
Generally speaking, if I think about of all the team members, he kind of, I think, embraces the idea of being on the Suicide Squad more than most.
He's an outsider in a group of outsiders, so he has this distance from the proceedings. Like, he doesn't take the missions that seriously. He always has a quip or a wry response to some over-the-top, dangerous situation they're about to get into.
It's quite a crib Vandal's got. All that's missing is a sign that says bad guy lives here.
Digger seems to always be along for the ride. A lot of the other characters, when they're recruited by Waller, they do so kicking and screaming and against their will. But Digger's like, you know what? I'm going to be sitting in the cell anyway. I might as well get out and get some fresh air and kill some people, for fun.
He's one of those guys at the workplace who just is kind of there. He doesn't really like authority, but he knows how to play the game to get along. And so he's not a leader, but he's always looking for an angle. His only liability is that he cannot be trusted.
Oh, ye of little faith.
If there's someone who's going to turn on the other teammates, he's guaranteed to be at least one of them.
I believe in heaven, Boomer. Every time you shut your mouth.
He likes finding the little sore spots in people. Like, he knows that Deadshot has a daughter.
It's your little girl, isn't it? Oh, did she reject another letter from dear old Dad?
When we first introduce him into the movie, he's actually teasing Deadshot about the fact that his daughter isn't speaking to him anymore.
Tell you what, girls like her need a daddy.
So he's that kind of guy. He likes getting under people's skin.
Maybe Uncle Digger can look her up.
He does it really, really well, pushing those buttons, right? He just knows the right way to get on Deadshot's nerves, or he knows the right things to say to get Harley, all riled up. He's the ultimate manipulator.
We're just a bunch of puppets trying to get through the show without strings attached.